Your inner power station dictates how you feel in this moment. We think emotions are just chemical reactions, but what if they are literally controlled by the cell's electrical state? Think of your mitochondria not just as tiny batteries, but as cellular volume knobs. They determine the intensity and stability of every thought pattern running through your brain. When that matrix potential fluctuates, it does just to hut energy output. It alters how coherent your subjective reality is. This subtle shift in ATP production could be the real biophysical signal for deep flow states or profound grounding connection. It suggests our consciousness isn't merely happening to us. It is fundamentally fueled by cellular electricity. Imagine your conscious state not as a software program running on hardware, but as an oscillating frequency tuned by cellular power. When mitochondria, the cell's tiny energy generators, are perfectly balanced, they support a dynamic range in our brains that allows for deeper synchronicity. It's like tuning into a perfect radio signal versus static interference. The quality of your metabolic currency dictates the clarity of your experience. Researchers are now modeling how these subtle shifts in inner potential could influence neural rhythms, linking cellular efficiency directly to subjective states of flow or deep grounding. This isn't mysticism, it's biophysics looking at energy transfer from microscale engines up into macro awareness. It turns out the engine of your cell isn't just running fuel, it's tuning a radio station. When mitochondrial potential fluctuates, we might be changing more than cellular efficiency, we might be shifting our subjective reality entirely. Think about how perfect resonance in an instrument changes its sound quality. These energetic shifts could couple with neural networks themselves, influencing what feels like pure presence or deep flow state. This is the physics behind phenomenal awareness. It suggests that when your internal battery hits a specific dynamic range, you aren't just healthy. You are accessing something coherent, which means something nobody expected for how we define thought itself. What if your most profound states of awareness aren't just in your head, but are powered by the tiniest energy fluctuations inside every cell? We used to think consciousness was solely electrical signaling between neurons. But what about cellular fuel dynamics? Think of ATP not as a battery charge, but as an invisible conductor that tunes your internal radio frequency. When those mitochondrial potentials shift, that subtle balancing act involving NAD and NAD+ ratios across different metabolic modes, it fundamentally alters the synchronicity of distant neural networks. This isn't just efficient survival, it correlates with what we feel like deep flow or non-egoic presence. Some rigorous neuroscientists argue this correlation is merely statistical noise, but if cellular energy dictates your threshold for profound experience, then everything changes. How stable can that potential truly be? Forget steady, predictable power plants. We are talking about subtle energetic fluctuations, micro-level oscillations that act like cellular tuning forks. The changes in mitochondrial potential aren't just chemical. They generate coherent electromagnetic fields. Imagine your brain not as a radio receiver, but as an impossibly sensitive instrument tuned by these tiny biological signals. Theoretical modeling suggests this interaction could literally influence our neural wiring and the patterns of thought we experience daily. The receptor fires, but what happens when that cellular coherence links directly to subjective awareness is what changes everything. We have always treated cellular energy as just fuel, a chemical battery powering movement. But what if that view is a colossal misunderstanding? What if the minute-by-minute fluctuation in the mitochondria, the cell's powerhouse potential, isn't merely about generating ATP like charging a phone, but something infinitely more complex? Like tuning an incredibly subtle radio frequency inside your own body. We found these microfluctuations correlate precisely with those moments of deep flow or intense subjective grounding you chase. It suggests that our internal energy signature might actually be the language of awareness itself, and we are only beginning to learn how to translate it. But if potential dictates experience, what does stability really cost us? The dots connect when you realize that your internal energy isn't just power, it's language. Think of mitochondrial fluctuation like the subtle humming frequency inside a tuning fork. That specific resonance dictates how clear your experience is. When cellular metabolism achieves this perfect equilibrium, we perceive deep grounding and effortless focus. If all mental states are fundamentally rooted in bioelectrical balance, then tracking that internal potential becomes the ultimate roadmap for awareness. Start paying attention to moments of absolute clarity or total exhaustion. Those fluctuations are data points. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. The connection isn't theoretical. It's foundational physics meeting human perception. Imagine your mitochondria as tiny power plants running a complex network. When that energy flow is unstable, when those potential fluctuations shift, it affects how coherent your thoughts are. It modulates the deep states of focus and awareness you chase. The takeaway here? Focus not just on meditation, but on cellular stability itself. Look into biofeedback methods designed to track these subtle energetic markers in real time. Your mind state may simply be a direct readout of your inner matrix potential. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.